Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to start our press conference here with our pole sitter for tomorrow's Brickyard 400. If you would like to make your way up to the front, please feel free to do so. We have been joined by a hometown favorite here in Chase Briscoe, driver of the number 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing. Chase, first of all, congratulations. This is your first pole here in the NASCAR Cup Series at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I believe it's your fifth pole this season. So just talk a little bit about your team's ability to be fast in qualifying, but also I'm sure this one means a little bit more to you than maybe the others did as well.
Yeah, for sure. Our team just does an incredible job of, just making adjustments, even after practice if we're a little bit off. Today was a great example of that. We just put in so much effort and work. I mean, all this week we were practicing on whether it was race runs or qualifying runs in the simulator and just, spending extra hours doing it, and it makes a difference. So, yeah, super special today just to, qualify on the pole here. I mean, the Daytona 500 one was cool. Going 3 in a row was cool, but, being able to sit on the pole here is just so special. And, when I got out of the car and hearing the crowd screaming, it's just, I don't have that happen anywhere else. So it's just so cool to experience that. And, I was on the side of the fence when Tony and Newman and those guys were doing it, and be one of those Indiana kids that's cheering for their Indiana driver, and now to be on the other side of the fence, it's pretty special for sure.
All right, we're going to go ahead and open for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. I know we have several. We're going to work to get a mic to you. We're going to start here in the middle with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Excuse me. Chase, you got the pole at the Daytona 500, Coke 600, and Brickyard 400 all in the same year, and you're the defending winner of the Southern 500. Really incredible to get all 3 poles in the same year. What has this been like for you to experience this with this new team?
Yeah, it's been really just fun. Anytime you're driving fast race cars, it's a lot of fun. And I feel like my entire career qualifying has been a strong suit of mine. And at SHR, I feel like a lot of the time just we overachieved, truthfully. And now being able to be a JGR and being in these extremely fast race cars, it allows me to, contend for poles instead of just contending for, a top 10 starting spot or whatever it may be. And it's definitely fun just to be able to lead the field of green, all these crown jewels, and kind of take it in. Every time as I'm coming to take the initial green, kind of looking up in the grandstands, it's each one's different. And that one not working? No. It's just really special. I mean, anytime you can lead the field to green, it's significant. But to be able to do it, in a crown jewel event is just it's even more special.
All right, we're going to continue with questions. Go ahead.
Chase, Kristen Hardy, Indianapolis Star. You mentioning being on the other side of the fence, watching Newman and Stewart, growing up. With this being the only race in Indiana, are you able to actually, go home, see everybody, and what's that like as you lead up to racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Yeah, it's always, just a fun week for me because outside of Christmas, really Brickyard Week's the only week I get to go home. My entire family still lives in Mitchell. So, for me to be able to go back and see my grandparents and everything, it honestly kind of recharges my batteries. I feel like, I was able to come up on Tuesday night and just spend time, and my sister got married last night, so that was fun too, just getting to, see that chapter of her life start, and get to be there with, friends and things, and obviously all my family. It's just been a really fun week, and would love to cap it off, obviously with the Brickyard 400. I'm sure my sister would be mad if I went and kind of topped the wedding on the week. Yeah, it's just been a really fun week to be able to come up here and get to do all the things that we've done. And even, Brooks now is old enough to kind of know what's going on. And, he's for example, an Indianapolis Colts fan and a Pacers fan. So for him now, like he understands what Indiana is and the significance to it, for myself and our families. So it's just fun to come up here for sure.
Does that give you any added pressure more than usual, more than going to any other race, or is it not as bad given that, you're around friends and family and all of that?
It's honestly not pressure. If anything, I think you find this kind of extra 5-10%. I've talked to Tony even about it. Just when you're from Indiana and you come here, I mean, you've seen it with Newman, and you've seen it with, Gordon was kind of a transplant to Indiana, but certainly Tony, you just find this extra like I said, 5-10% you didn't know you had, and you really put that pressure on yourself to perform here when you come here. And I think a lot of it is because the Hoosier fan base just gets behind you, unlike anywhere else. I mean, there's no other racetrack we go to where when I hear a driver from that state, the crowd's going nuts. It's different in the state of Indiana. And, for me to be able to be that guy for, the fans here, it's just really, really cool.
All right, we'll continue with questions. If we can get a mic to John right here.
John, Newby Savage Ventures. So Zach kind of started the question I wanted to ask, but with you, getting the pole at Daytona, Charlotte, and here, are you going for the clean sweep when we get to the Southern 500?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I try every week to go, qualify on the pole, right? I don't know if anybody's ever done all four. It'd be cool if not to be able to do it. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if we're going to St. Louis or Southern 500 or whatever it is. I want to be on the pole, and yeah, it would be really, really special to do it. The Southern 500 is obviously a track that I feel really, really good about. This year I will say that's been by far the worst race for the 19 team, but, I know that when we go back, later in the year we'll be really, really good. So, yeah, it would be really special to, start on the pole there too, but, yeah, I would trade them all in for race wins, that's for sure.
And then just a quick follow-up, with, coming home, Mitchell being close here, you've told me before, I have like 500 friends and family members in the stands. How do you keep so focused with all of those different, obligations, different distractions that you'll face this weekend?
Yeah, honestly, I enjoy it. I don't really go, like I said, really to any other racetrack all year long where people are like screaming my name and stuff. So it's kind of cool just to get to experience, that for a weekend every single year. But I think honestly, having all those people around me is kind of what helps you find that 5-10%. And I think it. I can't speak for Tony, obviously, but when Tony would come here, he had a ton of family and friends as well. And, you don't get to race in front of all of them very often. So when you do it, you want to put on a good show for them and give them a good result, something to be proud of. And, for me, I definitely think it just helps put things into perspective when you come here. Without that, support, you probably don't get to where you're at a lot of the time. So for me, it's always enjoyable when I can have all them around. And, yeah, I feel like my life's full of distractions, right? I mean, you're seeing one of them right here as I'm doing interviews, and then the twins and stuff. So, yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good at managing all that. But, yeah, it's nice just to have, all those people here and feel that support whenever you go to get into the car.
All right, go ahead.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Chase, on getting the pole. Yesterday we talked about that and about how exciting it would be to get the pole. So congratulations on doing that. But yesterday we talked with Denny. Denny got a new contract for a couple years with JGR, and he pretty much is saying that he's coming to the end of his career. He spent his entire career at JGR. Now that wouldn't necessarily be the case for you, but if you had to pick a stopping point and be the heir apparent to Denny Hamlin, would you take that opportunity and run with it?
I mean, yeah, for sure. That guy's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to, have 60-plus career wins when it's all said and done. I mean, Denny is, he gets a lot of, crap probably a lot of the time, but he is one of the most incredible race car drivers the sport's ever seen. So, yeah, if I could be that guy for JGR, that would be unbelievable. There's going to be a ton of competition for that. Between Bell and Ty is going to be right there too. It's just going to take him getting one win in the column, and then I feel like he's going to take off. And who knows who ends up replacing Denny? But yeah, I would love to be the guy. I want to be that guy right now, right? That's kind of carrying the banner for JGR. But yeah, when Denny leaves, it's going to be a huge void. That guy can bring so much to a race team just from an experience standpoint and even a result standpoint. So yeah, it'll. Be interesting to see how much longer he goes. He's, I don't know, I think he's 43 or something like that right now, and I would say he's at the top of his game. So who knows how long he goes, but it's been a lot of fun for me, I know, this year just to be teammates with him.
What's more pressure, winning the pole here at the Brickyard for the Brickyard 400, or going to Mitchell and not everybody in the world wanting an autograph and a selfie?
Honestly, it's really cool when I go to Mitchell. They just treat me like I've always lived there, truthfully. Yeah, so that part's fun. When I go back there, I get to, it's a small town, right? There's 3,800 people that live there, so everybody already kind of just knows everybody in general. But, yeah, I would say it's way more pressure here for sure.
All right, we're going to go to Daniel McFadden. Go ahead. Or Daniel, raise your hand so they know to look for you.
Daniel McFadden, FrenchPress.com. Chase, you're the first person to get the pole for the 500, the Daytona, Charlotte, and the Brickyard ever. Did anyone tell you that?
I did not know that.
Yes, you're the first.
That's pretty cool.
So, on the eve of a big race like this, do you have any rituals you do the night before? Do you just go about business as usual, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different, I guess, this week, just because, we always do like a family cookout, during the Brickyard 400 weekend. So tonight I'll go over to my cousin's house and, go do that. But outside of that, I mean, I feel like it's business as usual. It's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of different. Like, I don't really have, truthfully, a great routine. It's kind of different week in and week out, whether, they're traveling with me or not. But, yeah, for me, I feel like I'm pretty relaxed in general, so it's not like I really think about it. It'll probably be, truthfully, a little bit different tonight, just knowing it's the Brickyard 400 and how much pressure I put on myself for this race. But overall, I think once I get in the car, it'll be, just normal.
Okay. If you were given the option of, and you can only choose one, of winning this race once or winning a cup title once.
Oh, you're going to do that to me?
I'm doing it to you. Which would you pick?
Oh, man. I'd probably have to say I'd have to pick the title. Just winning a championship is such a big deal. But, I mean, yeah, I think I even said it yesterday in one of the press media things. Outside of winning a championship, I can't think of anything I would be more excited to win in this race. And so, yeah, if you put it up against a championship, I'd probably take the championship. But, yeah, I would put this over the Daytona 500, for me, or any other race on the schedule. But, yeah, championship would be hard to pass up.
All right, we're going to continue with questions. Go ahead.
James Krause from the Journal-Gazette. You mentioned yesterday how earlier during Dover week you were visualizing what it would be like to win the Brickyard 400. I just want to know, do you remember what that looked like in your head? Did you see yourself like Stewart climbing the fence or anything like that? Just what was it like in your head? And yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really visualize anything other than like kind of driving right here, taking the checkered. And just like, I just imagine how loud I would yell on the radio. Like I normally don't really get too worked up, but yeah, that was really all I visualized. And it's weird. Like I think I talked about that yesterday too. Like I've never done that about any race in my life, but for whatever reason, I was just driving down the road and it was like one of those 5-10 second thoughts where I was like, man, like you could win the Brickyard 400 next week. And, just kind of thought about, what that would feel like. And yeah, it's just, it'd be special for sure. I don't want to think too much about it, but, definitely if I was able to win, I mean, you would see all the stuff, all the stops, I'd be climbing the fence and stopping where my family was sitting and doing all the things. So yeah, it would, be really cool if it happens tomorrow.
And then to follow up on that, you mentioned feeling like you could win feeling like you could win the 400. How much more confident do you feel that you could win the 400? Not just yourself, 5 Toyotas taking up the top 5 spots. Yeah,
I didn't even realize that till we were coming up here that, Toyota is 1 through 5. That's an incredible testament. Just, the attention to detail that Toyota brings, they do such a good job of, preparing, obviously myself as a driver, but even the race teams, just to give them all the tools that they need. So for us to be able to be 1 through 5 is really, really special. I think our cars as a whole, as a manufacturer, are going to be really, really good tomorrow. And, yeah, hopefully hopefully I can win it, but if not, hopefully another TRD car can.
All right, Chase, thank you so much for spending time with us again. Best of luck this weekend.
You can say something if you want.